Alright, what is up? And my name is Blender Solo, and today I'm gonna be teaching you how to do product design in Blender, or should I say product visualization. Now we're going to be modeling this fragrance over here. It's I'm not gonna say the name, but you can see it by yourself. We're going to be doing that fragrance, and after that I'm going to show you the rendering part, so stick to the end. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe, because what I'm going to show you now is going to help you if you're a beginner in product visualization in Blender. So let's begin. So let's begin the modeling. So first thing you gotta do, you gotta make a circle, select all the vertices, and in edit mode scale it down so it matches the reference. And yeah, you gotta have a good reference to make the model as detailed as possible. So for example, I have the fragrance in my head I have the fragrance in my hand right now, so I can see all the details, all the small details. So yeah, if you do have the product, you better just take it and in your hand so you see all the details. But you can just go with a simple image like this. Anyways, extrude this up, scale it up till it matches the reference. Now scale this part up and bring it till it's somewhere like this. Yeah, now we can see there's a smooth transition like this. It's pretty easy, just extrude it and scale it down once again. Now you're gonna add a loop cut, which you're going to scale just a little bit, just like this. And now you can just bevel it with like 2 segments. Yeah, and it's pretty smooth. Yeah, so let's subdivide it. Let's add a loop cut like this, and let's add a loop cut like this. Now let's add a few loop cuts over here, just so the shading is nice, shade smooth, and you can see it's very smooth. Yeah, okay, now to fill this, press Alt and click on this edge, extrude and scale it down. Do not fill it completely, just scale it down like this. And this, you can fill it. You can see that it's not that visible, and you can pull this up like this simply and add some loop cuts over here so the shading is nice. Now there is a metallic thing over here with some sort of rope around it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my 3D cursor over here, and I'm going to make a circle with 32. I think 32 should be enough. Now head on to X-axis view, and you can scale it down till it matches the reference. Now this circle, what you're gonna do with it, select everything, extrude up till it fills the whole thing, go to wireframe mode, put a loop cut over here. Now with one segment, so with only one segment, just scale it till it matches these lines over here. Nice. Now Alt E, extrude faces along normals and scale it down just a little bit like this, so you have a shape like this. Now we can add subdivision right now, make this sharper. Probably gonna add more loop cuts so the shading is better. Okay, I've added some loop cuts over here so the shading is better. Anyways, let's select this and this, isolate it, and we're gonna fill it the same way that we filled the bottom. Extrude, scale down, and you can fill this with F. You gotta do the same thing in the bottom though. So now once you did this, add some loop cuts over here, add some loop cuts over here. Now select these edges that have to be sharp, Control B, 2 segments, and you're gonna change the shape here to 1. So it creates a bevel like this basically. Yeah, now it's very sharp, now it's good, now it's what we need. Circle, scale down circle, somewhere like this, I'd say. I think you can see it even on the reference. Yeah, you do see it, that's nice. Scale it down, we're gonna do this part. Extrude it up by Z-axis, like this. You can fill this. Now we're gonna take this edge over here on the top, and you're gonna need to bevel it. But now it's gonna do this thing, so just put it on 0.5 once again, so the bevels are normal again. Do it with like 2 segments, and probably make it a bit smaller like this. Yeah, should be nice. Now add a loop cut in the middle of this bar that's sticking out with 1 segment of bevel, just like this. Now head on to normal view. Now you're going to Alt E, extrude faces. Alt E, extrude faces along normals like this. Now you're gonna select these edges. You're going to bevel them slightly like this. Perfect. You're going to inset this once, just a little bit. Extrude inside. You're gonna inset it once again, just for a little bit. Extrude it up. Now we can subdivide this, but since we're having issues like this, let's delete this face over here, and we're going to fill it the same way that we filled the other ones. So like this, F, and you can bevel this with 2 segments with 1. Perfect. Add loop cuts like this, and for this one just shade it smooth. It should be nice. There shouldn't be any issues. The geometry so far looks pretty nice. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Anyways, let's make this part basically that you spray the fragrance. So let's add your 3D cursor over here. Add a circle once again. Extrude it upwards like this. Extrude, scale up, extrude by the Z-axis. Perfect. I don't think we need to subdivide this because it already is pretty high detail since it's very small. Now, what I would do basically the thing that you spray the fragrance. Yeah, so this, I don't know what it's called, but basically, you know what I mean. Yeah. Shift S cursor to select it. And you're gonna add a circle, which you're gonna rotate by the Y-axis by 90. Scale it down. Now match the reference in edit mode, extrude X and snap it over here, and this just move it into it. Yeah, can fill this face, and now here that I see that it's just an inset, a slide inset, extrude it inwards once again, just a little bit, inset it once again and extrude just like this. I think this looks pretty nice. And let's make a small hole in there, so it's just gonna be a simple inset, very small hole, extrude, and that's it. And just add a loop cut so the shading is better. Now you don't quite need to connect these two. I don't think it's gonna make any problems during unwrapping and stuff. Guys, remember, I'm gonna tell you a pretty important thing. Nothing in real life is completely sharp. So let's say if we have something like this, nothing in real life is sharp like this. It's always beveled, even just a little bit, but it is beveled. Everything in real life is beveled, even just a small bit like here, you see? But it is beveled, everything. So if you're trying to achieve a high level basically model, you're gonna need to bevel basically every single edge. That's an important thing to remember, because it's gonna make you achieve much better results. Anyways, I think we are done with the model itself. Oh, no, we are not done. We need to do these ropes. It looks like it's like some sort of rope. It's gonna be very easy, don't worry. You can take this edge in the middle, Shift D to duplicate it, and you can just scale it down, and from this view, put it somewhere in the middle of it, like this. Now, okay, you're gonna need to separate it by pressing P. Now this separate object, what you're gonna do, you're gonna convert it to a curve. Now in this menu, in the data, you're gonna head on to geometry, bevel, round, and you're gonna make the depth just so it matches the reference, which you can check here. Okay, it doesn't matter if you just do it like this, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Perfect. Once you did it, just move this thing up like this. Now add a array modifier. You're gonna make the factor to Z-axis, and you're gonna make it like 1.1, minus 1.1, just like this, and you're gonna make the count go like this. Perfect. Now to basically remove these polygons to make it smoother, just convert it to a mesh once again and apply subdivision. That's all. Shade smooth. Okay, let me add some bevels, for example, here, just like this. Anyways, we are done with the base model. Now, since this bottle is not just like a one layer of a paper, basically, we are going to make the inside of it. Now that's gonna be pretty easy. Take this edge, extrude and scale it down just a little bit, just like this. And now in the X view, you're going to extrude it down like this, and all you gotta do is just extrude, scale, to make basically the inside. You can look at the other geometry that we already have to make it as accurate as possible. But anyways, do it till somewhere over here, and in here you are going to bevel it. Or first you're gonna of course fill it, but with a good way. So you take the face that we got over here, extrude, scale it down. Scale it down is like this. Fill, take this, Control B to bevel it. Let's say this should be nice, and let's bevel it till somewhere like this. Now we can see that we did the inside part. Yes, that's pretty nice because we're going to need it when making the liquid itself. So now it's not just a simple, like it's solid. Yeah, it's how it should be. Yes. So with that, we are done with the modeling part of the fragrance itself. So let's move on to liquid and then rendering. Okay, let's do the liquid. So first thing to do the liquid is, since we did this inside part, yes, we need to add a loop cut over here, which you're going to pull up until somewhere over here. This is where our fragrance is going to be filled to. Yes. And now let's head on to the normal view. I would probably want to add some loop cuts over here for the shading. Now anything from here is going to be the liquid, so it's gonna probably take some time to select the whole thing, but if you just select this edge, select everything until the end, select basically the inside part like this, Shift D to duplicate it. Okay, this is gonna be our liquid basically, and you're just gonna want to just slightly scale it down just a little bit so it's not overlapping. Okay, once you did that, press P, separate the selection, and now we can name this liquid, which is gonna be our liquid. When we isolate our liquid, we can see that with subdivision it should look pretty smooth. Anyways, we're gonna make some edits to it. We're gonna make it look more like a liquid. First thing you're probably gonna need to do is to extrude, scale down just a little bit, select this edge and move it up like this slightly. Probably want to add some supporter loop cut. Okay, just a small extrusion like that. And for this face, you're gonna want to extrude, scale down, and you're going to fill this face. Yeah. Now gonna do a bunch of loop cuts over here, and now just do slight deformations because no liquid is completely still. I mean, there are, but the one that we're doing is not. Anyways, make a inaccurate surface just like this. Okay, you can also take some part of this edge and you can move it up like this a little bit. We basically did the liquid now, yeah, so we can move on to texturing. Oh, okay. For the texturing part, I've installed Blender Kit real quick because I was resetting my computer and it got deleted. Anyways, we got it here. Now it's gonna be pretty easy. We need to find a pretty good glass material for this. Now, what we can do now, head on to viewport shading or even to render view, and let's add a simple HDR. So let's write like studio. I think these should be pretty nice. Let's make it the lowest quality because we don't need the visuals. Anyways, head on to materials tab and search for glass. And just choose the Sudden glass. We need a clear one without any, damages. Fine glass, yeah, this looks nice. Pretty decent, I would say. I need a better lighting. So I'm gonna download this Clarence Midday. This is probably one of my favorite HDRIs. To make the liquids very easy, just press new material, change the roughness to 0, and in the transmission put the weight to 1 and change the color to your desired color with your fragrances. Now I don't think this lighting is good for checking the colors, but let's say it's gonna be some sort of this type of color. Yes, so this is pretty much the liquid. Yes. Now to make this metallic part, it's pretty easy. Once again, create a new material, put the metallic to 1, change the color so it's more gray, and change the roughness to somewhere around this. Yes. Or you can just simply take a stainless steel material from the blender kit. Any material will go. I think I will use this. Yes, looks pretty nice. And let's apply the stainless steel to all of the objects. Okay, perfect. And now to make this rope material, it's very simple. Just search for fabric. Yes, and it should bring up quite a lot of them. Select this one, this looks nice. Like this, let it load. Perfect. And now to make the label for the fragrance itself, just with loop cuts, try to make basically the outlines of it. So I would say from here to here. Yeah, so this part is going to be the label. Select the part where this basically sticker or whatever it is has to be. Yes, you can select it with faces like this. Yes, Shift D to duplicate this, P to separate it. Now you're gonna get a object like this. You can remove the subdivision just like this, and you can move this up a little bit. Probably that was a bit too much. Even move it just a little bit from it. Yes, perfect. You're gonna have to find a texture of this. So I did find a texture. So select the label, press new, and name it, I don't know, label. Yes. Add a image texture modifier and open the image with the label. So just like this. Now what I'm gonna need to do, I'm gonna need to unwrap this. I'm gonna probably do Smart UV project just like this. Head on to UV editing and basically just make it so it fits in here. So probably like this. Scale it down. Now if you look at it, I don't know why did it unwrap it like this and why is it mirrored. Anyways, yeah, we can just mirror it like this manually. And I also don't understand why it's okay, whatever, just like this. And now we're gonna tweak this material a little bit. So probably gonna add some bump. Yes, so let's add wave texture. Okay, we're gonna add a wave texture. We're gonna add 2 wave textures, so let's duplicate this. We're gonna have to make this a bit bigger. Okay, and we're gonna add bump node like this. Make this Y, so it's gonna be X and Y. I'm gonna connect the mix. I think it was like this. So make the colors like this. Result to height, normal to normal. Now I need to scale it up like this. And now you can see that we got a pretty realistic bump. And with that, guys, we have finished the model itself. And we can move on to rendering. Now for this video I decided to use this product visualization scene pack that I found on Gumroad. And by using the code BlenderSolo during checkout, you can get a sweet $3 discount. So check the link in the description. It's a very awesome pack, recommended by BlenderSolo. Now for the rendering part, I'm going to be using this pre-made scene over here, which I found very suitable. It's like more orangey and my fragrance is also orange. But if you do want to make your own scene, feel free to do so. Now I'm not going to be showing that here, but let's get into it. So let's delete this pre-made fragrance, yes. And then what we're going to do, we're going to append and we're going to select our fragrance that we just made. So for me it's this. You're going to head on to collection. I'm just going to select this collection just like this. Going to append it. Perfect. Now it looks like it's a bit too big, so we're going to scale it down just like this. I'm going to snap it onto the cursor to keep the offset. Alright, now it looks like the faces are a bit... Okay, nice. Now it looks nice. We can rotate it now. And you're going to put it on the rock so it fits, you know. And it looks like that we have some sort of blur over here. Oh, okay. What we can do, we can just add a simple empty over here, plane axis, and we are going to head on to the camera. Now the depth of field, we're gonna put the object as the empty, and you can also change the f-stop. Okay, so I've came to conclusion that this glass material looked better, so I applied that. I can see that the model looks pretty good. Now we can try to do our first render with 300 samples. So let's put everything to solid view. Let's try to render it now. Though it seems like we have some artifacts over here. Let me change the texture. Let's see, why is it causing some artifacts like that if we don't have the bump? Yeah, okay, it looks like the artifacts are gone. This looks pretty nice. It's not perfect, you could work on it more, but as you can see, we made a pretty nice render. It looks very nice. Okay, it looks pretty good. So now you can just head on and save this image, save this render, and send it to your client, for example. Okay, so this is it. This is the final result. I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget about the scenes pack. It's in the description. Anyway, press that like button, subscribe, because more of this kind of content is upcoming, so you don't miss it. Bye bye.